Hello from GSIC. I'm talking with Bob Dennelly of Panduit. Bob, you're welcome. In your presentation, you talked about enterprise transformation, and you've been saying Enterprise 2.0 is here. What do you mean by that?
Well, in the enterprise space today, it's very dynamic. The worker is much different than it was, let's say, 5 or 10 years ago. People want to come to work and they want to use their mobile devices. They want to use their phones, they want to use tablets. And that creates some issues and challenges for a facility manager and an IT manager. The other thing that's happening is that there's a movement afoot towards more and more video being used in business. And so that's really stressing the network. And the way that we see facility and IT managers addressing this issue is really embracing desktop virtualization, where the applications, the systems, the software are all done in a virtual environment, either in a public or a private cloud. And it creates a lot of benefits to the end users. It allows them to connect any device anywhere around the world. Globalization. So those are some of the real interesting dynamics that are happening in the enterprise space right now. So
it sounds as though there are opportunities and challenges in this change of control. Does that have an impact on an enterprise?
It certainly does. One of the things that it brings to a challenge is security, making sure that an enterprise information and data stays internal and doesn't leave the facility or doesn't get into the wrong hands. The other thing is interoperability. There are many vendors out there that are offering mobile devices, Apple, Google, Samsung, and some of these devices are not universally interoperable with Microsoft or some other common platforms like Oracle. So for an IT facility manager, this creates new challenges, but also opportunities. And a lot of the technology that's happening in desktop virtualization regarding the software and the user interface is working to address these issues.
In the industry, there's been a lot of buzz about virtualization and the cloud, but underpinning it all is still the physical layer. What opportunities are there within that?
So as more and more enterprises are deploying desktop virtualization, it really results in a thin client out in the workspace. And these devices really don't need all that much power. And it lends itself to the opportunity of using structured cabling to power up the devices. So that can actually cut down on the cost, the initial CapEx expense with the facility. The other thing that becomes very interesting with the deployment of desktop virtualization and PoE is that the TR room, which had been pretty static, now becomes a very dynamic environment. You have switching, you have computing, and you have storage there. And with PoE, the actual switches will now generate quite a bit of heat. So now you have some of the common issues that you see in a data center around how to properly create the environment within the TR, the heating and the cooling, as well as creating extra security because you have more active equipment in the TR room.
So how are Panduit and your partners embracing this? How are you working to ensure that your customers get what they want out of it?
So there are two new technologies that Panduit is working on that are going to happen in the very near future. The first is renewable energy. More and more companies are looking at renewable energy as a source to augment their power within an enterprise building, both from an environmental sustainability, but also to control power during peak times. And Panduit is working on an architecture and products that will allow the direct current that comes from renewable energies like solar panels and wind, and being able to put that right onto the structured cabling. So you can see where the connection is between the renewable energy and the desktop virtualization and the thin client. And then the second key technology that we're working on is the convergence of IP in the Ethernet. So all of the disparate systems within a building, all the building automation devices that run over their own protocol. We're working on systems that will normalize that, bring it all over IP, and then allow the facility manager to have all the visibility of all the operating systems within a building, create dashboards and analytics, and drive to smarter and more energy efficient and cost efficient solutions.
Bob Dennelly, thank you.
Thank you.